Welcome to the very first online open day of Haas University of Applied Sciences. My name is Marnix Wolters, lecturer in the International Food and Agribusiness program. I'll be your host for today. Today we'll be looking at three programs in our online open day: the International Food and Agribusiness, Business Management in Agriculture and Food, and Horticulture and Business Management. Also, our international office will give you valuable insights into admission requirements, accommodation, applying for a visa, tuition fees and other costs. As we're live and interactive open day today, please send your questions at any time via the YouTube comments or on WhatsApp to +31 88 890 3600. And we have two live reporters today on site in our two locations. Johanna will show you around here in Saartoggenbos, and we got Laura in Venlo. I'd now like to introduce our first guest, the Chair of the Board of Governors, Mr. Dick Pauwels. Dick, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you very much.
Can you please tell something more about Haas University of Applied Sciences? Why are we? What do we do? What's the type of students that we got?
Yes, Haas University of Applied Science was established 70 years ago, so we have quite a history already at this university. And we are a university with a special focus on the domain of agri, food and environment. And within that domain we do have programs with a focus on technical issues, on business, on design, but also on biology. And beside that focus on the domain, I think our university is very special because of its very personal approach. A lot of effort is being taken to develop the talents of the students, and also a very sharp focus on the collaboration with the business in our environment.
Thank you. And what's the quality of our education like?
Yeah, the quality of our education is very high in the perspective of the students. We are ranked #1 or #2 in the Netherlands in the Dutch rankings, but also from the perspective of the Dutch government, the Dutch Flemish Accreditation Organization, they also rank our programs very high on quality.
Good to hear. So both on an official level, but also our client students value us highly.
Very highly, and that's very important for us.
And how is that with business? How do we work with the business?
Yeah, business is more or less in our genes, I always say. Working together with business is part of the complete program, starting in year 1 until your final assignment. And in our programs, you always collaborate as a student, but also as teachers with business on specific issues, requirements, assignments the business has.
That's good to know. And how is internationalization structured here at the university?
Yeah, we have different levels of internationalization, you could say. First of all, of course, and that's why we are here today, we do have 3 international programs. You mentioned it already, the 3. And it's very important also that our students work together also in the International Student Association. So they collaborate also in all things besides the study, I should say, besides the program. And beside the 3 international programs, every Dutch taught programs has international modules in this program, and every Dutch student has to go abroad for one of their internships. It's mandatory.
So really exposing all students to the international aspect of the field that we operate in.
Yeah, and that's very important also because if you look to the Dutch sector of agri-food and environment, it's a very international sector. Dutch and the Netherlands as a second worldwide exporter of agri-food in the world. It's an international business, so our students should be capable of acting in an international environment.
Thank you, that's good to know. As for practical aspects, what kind of tuition fees do we charge?
Yeah, depending whether or not you come from the EU. EU students, they pay a little bit more than €2,000 a year as a tuition fee. And non-EU students, they pay 7,500, a little bit more than €7,500 a year as a tuition fee.
And then we're looking at 4-year programs, right?
Yeah, you're looking at a 4 years program. Yeah.
And we're different compared to research university. Could you elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, that's quite unique in the Netherlands if you compare it to other countries in the world. We do have universities and universities of applied science, and it's in that applied focus that's the main difference. The research universities, as we most of the time call them, they focus on fundamental research. That's where you are educated in. And we focus with our students and our programs on applied research. So in both universities you learn about research, but the focus is different on the fundamental research universities to applied in our kind of universities.
And applying that research, that takes a little time, and therefore we run 4-year instead of 3-year programs.
Yeah, I think the main difference with the research universities is that in our programs, yes, the application part takes a little bit of time, and you see that especially in the 3rd year when the internships are part of our program. And in a research university, there are no real internships part of the program.
And once again, that's where our students will meet the industry and the business.
Yeah, they will meet it in a focused way on their own in the internships, but in the whole program, starting from year 1 till year 4, industry is part of our program.
Thank you very much, and I think we'll hear more about that from the other colleagues joining. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you very much.
We'll now switch to our reporter, Johanna. She's here in the canteen, if I'm correct. Johanna, where are you at?
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thanks, Marnix, and welcome everybody at Haas University of Applied Science in Den Bosch. My name is Johanna and I'm studying International Food and Agribusiness. I choose the program because I really like the combination of business and agriculture. And I'm going to show you around. Over here is our canteen where you can buy sandwiches and soups for your lunch. And now you're going to meet my friends. Lena and Paula. Hi guys.
Oh, hey.
What are you working on?
We are currently working on a project for one of our marketing classes.
Great. May I ask you, why did you choose International Food and Agribusiness?
Well, I chose to study here because it's really international. You get to know so many people from all around the world. And I'm also really interested in the future of the agricultural sector. And yeah, I think IFA is really good study program for this.
What about you, Lena?
Well, I think I really like that there's a lot of practicals in the study. So concerning internships, you also have to do an internship, for example, already in your 1st year, and also in the further studying years. And yeah, I think that's really helpful. And also that you study in small groups. So in your classroom, there are not a lot of people, and the teachers actually know you by name, which I think is also nice to study. Yeah.
Great, thank you and good luck for your project.
Thank you.
And I'm going to meet you again in the greenhouse, but first back to Marnix. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thanks, Marnix, and welcome.
Thanks, Johanna. Thank you for showing the grounds. Great bridge to the program International Food and Agribusiness. Let's start with the video about the program.
I'm Ralf van der Meijs, 25 years old. The International Food and Agribusiness program focuses on how to sustainably produce, process, distribute and trade food products to feed the entire world population. We have to change something. The way we're working now it's unsustainable, but step by step we're going into the right direction, and our study program also contributes to that.
My name is Ana Maria Dulzma Cortez. I come from Costa Rica. I always really liked agriculture in general, but I also really like the business part. So IFA, I think, puts those two together. IFA is a 4-year course. The first year you take more general classes, for example global food systems, and you also take classes of the 3 domains, the food domain, crop production and animal production. On your 2nd year you choose which domain you want to focus on. We do a lot of excursions, so we actually go to farms and we do assignments with farms, for example.
We did projects at Bavaria, we went to the port of Rotterdam, a lot of growers, distribution centers, and we do practical assignments at the technology lab. So yeah, you really link theory to practice.
One of the other systems that we learn about is agroforestry. It's one of the solutions to the current agricultural products because it really involves like sustainability and like circular and no waste streams and like really takes care of the soil.
We went to Kyrgyzstan in the second year, and it was very interesting because we looked at local entrepreneurs there about what their vision on agriculture and food production is. It's a lot of fun to really get to know each other and to get to know different cultures and backgrounds.
The third year you choose what you want to do. So you can choose between doing 2 internships and a minor, or an extended minor and 1 internship. The first part of my third year, I did an exchange in Vietnam. So I went to the National University of Agriculture in Hanoi, and there I took courses of agricultural economics.
I did my internship at one of the largest seafood and agriculture importers and distributors in Europe. And I did my internship on supply chain mapping. And it was fun to see because I came in not really knowing what I had to do. But if you start talking to people, they use a certain language that you already know. Even though you're not really aware of it, you are sort of like an expert already.
And then on your fourth year, you do a minor, Future Food Systems. And the second part of the fourth year, you do your professional assignment and you have to work with a company. I think as an international student, when you first year arrive in Den Bosch, everything is very exciting and also very scary because you don't know how anything works. But because there's so many other international students, we keep each other company. We're always doing like activities outside of school, like making dinners together. We also go out together.
It's a relatively small school. The distance between, for example, lecturers and students is very small. You can just walk into an office, have a discussion with your lecturer about something. If you have any problems, you can always ask them, email them, contact them.
I think I want to do a master's first, and after my master's I will go back to Costa Rica and maybe work a little bit more in the institutions part, so maybe like a semi-private company that works in partnerships for rural development and producers.
I really like the processes, the value chains. Yeah, how can we make the future more sustainable for everybody?
If you've never left home, it will be hard at the beginning, but it will be totally worth it.
Joining me are lecturer Barbara van Mossevelde and student Razee Sayed. Could you please introduce yourself, Barbara?
Yes, of course. Well, I'm with the HAS now for 5 years, and I mainly teach in modules that cover food processing and nutrition security. And I also guide students during projects and during internships. And before I joined the HAS, I worked for many years with international food ingredient companies in Europe and in the US as well as in Brazil.
So you bring a lot of experience from the field to your classroom?
Yes, I do.
Razee, welcome as well.
Yeah.
Could you please tell a bit about your background?
I'm Razee Sayed. I'm a 4th year student at the International Food and Agribusiness, originally from Pakistan. I came here because I was passionate about, the study program of International Food and Agribusiness and the fields of food, agriculture, and business. Therefore, the study program made perfect sense. Secondly, at the HAS University, we put theory into practice, and that's why it made better sense to come here. Lastly, I would like to say that in Pakistan and in various developing nations, there's a lot of focus on the secondary and the tertiary sector, and there's no or less focus on the primary sector. That's why it was my vision to go back and work in the primary sector of industry. Yeah.
Thank you, Razee. Maybe starting, Barbara, can you tell us a bit more what the program is about?
Okay. Well, IFA, as we abbreviate International Food and Agribusiness, so we'll talk about IFA. We will the program is on our global agri-food system and the challenges that we're dealing with. So we cover supply chain, international business, doing international business in a sustainable way, so with respect for people, planet, and profit. And we look at how we can make those international supply chains, how we can improve them, and how we can produce food in a better way and in a more sustainable way, so also in the future we can supply people with good and healthy and safe food.
And I take it you see that back in the curriculum? Can you tell a bit more about that?
If you look at a program, which is, as was explained earlier, it's 4 years. Year 1 is really an orientation year, and we have modules like global food systems, bio-based economy, and agri-food business. The students will also learn about the technical, a little bit technical basic knowledge on crop production, animal production, and food processing and nutrition, and they will go on an orientation internship. And the main, or one of the teaching methods we use is problem-based learning.
Problem-based learning. Rosie, how did you experience the problem-based learning methodology?
It was very interactive. I loved working with fellow students. And plus, I did an internship with animal production, and plus before doing that I got the experience to work on cases which were related to dairy farming or goat farming, and furthermore. Yeah.
Thank you. And that's in the first year?
Yeah, that's first year, and then in the second year students get the opportunity to deepen their knowledge. So we have many business courses on food governance, circular economy, and students get to pick their elective, and that's either crop production systems, animal production systems, or food processing and nutrition, so more the secondary production. And I think you choose...
I chose the crop domain.
Crop domain.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was the reason?
Well, I love plants. Yeah. I love to be around plants, and I aspire to be a farmer. So I want to go home one day and probably work with smallholder farmers and learn from them as well. So I want to create a win-win situation. Share my experiences of the Haas and then gain their experiences of what they're doing in real time. Yeah.
And maybe interesting to say as well that in year 2 we work a lot with projects. So we do project-based learning. So that means that there are a lot of real-life projects where clients are already involved. And one of the highlights is probably our international excursion in our international study trip in year 2.
Well, maybe we've got a few more students here in the audience today from the program, so maybe to take the load of you, Rosie. Vincent, you were joining the trip as well.
Exactly.
What was your experience? Where did you go?
We went to Kyrgyzstan. It was an amazing experience because it's basically a country like I didn't know before. I never heard of Kyrgyzstan, and I would probably never go there. And on my own, so we went there, and it was just amazing to experience a new culture and see how they do agriculture in Kyrgyzstan. For example, this amazing walnut forest we visited was something I've never seen before.
So also there you really interacted with the industry and the business partners?
Exactly.
Good to hear. Thank you, Vincent. So that's year 2, Barbara?
That's year 2. Well, in year 3 they continue strengthening their profile, and they do that by going on an international internship and follow a minor abroad, or here in the Haas or some other university here in the Netherlands. So that's really about, well, putting into practice what they've learned so far. And then they go on to year 4, where they have their specialization, future food systems, and they have a professional assignment, so that's their graduation assignment.
Their final thing.
Yeah.
And you're almost there, Rosie, is it?
Yeah.
What do you do in your Future Foods project at the moment?
Well, we look at transition and change management. Plus, we want to be leaders of the future, so we follow leadership classes. We follow classes of our domain, so the crop domain, and we strengthen our knowledge of the crop domain as well. Furthermore, we get a lot of guest lectures, and we do college tours. So we meet inspiring people, we talk with them, and we get inspired.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you also work on a project probably during that period?
Yes. Yeah, I'm currently working with 5 other students on Moye Coffee. So that is the first blockchain coffee of the world. So it's very technically advanced, and we're trying to make the supply chain more transparent and traceable at the same time.
That sounds like an interesting assignment.
Yes, definitely it is.
Good to hear. Are you involved in that module as well, Barbara?
Yes, I am, because also the domains are in there. So I do the domain workshops on food, and also they have an individual research project where they can research a topic to their choice. And this year the theme is on CO2 reduction.
Interesting. So you really get to pick your own topic there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Good to hear. Hey, Rosie, maybe over to you. Barbara talked about internships. What did you do for an internship?
I went to Nepal. Well, I was working for a Dutch organization called Agriterra. And basically what they do is that they want to promote cooperatives and capacity building of cooperatives. So I went to the southeastern part of Nepal, a small village called Prithvinagar. So I got the opportunity and the experience of living with smallholder farmers, with the management, and the members of the cooperative. So we, at the end, became a family. And then basically what I was doing was that I was promoting tea of the cooperative. So we also traveled across Nepal and tried to sell the tea. Furthermore, we try to improve the quality of the tea. So followed a lot of new protocols and worked together with also smallholder farmers for them to produce quality tea leaves.
So not only you learned, but you also managed to teach other people.
Exactly.
That's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Looking at the broader curriculum of IFA, what are some modules that really you thought were interesting or brought you something?
I think all the modules were very interesting. But to put it into perspective, I think one of them I really liked was animal production systems in the first year of International Food and Agribusiness. And I liked it most because, well, we learned a lot about animal life cycles. And then I got to apply that knowledge or learn more knowledge in the orientation traineeships. So I did 2 traineeships at dairy farms, one in the Netherlands and one in Pakistan. So the Dutch dairy farm had 100 cows, while the Pakistani one had 3,000 cows.
Whoa.
So that was a big of a difference, but a great learning experience.
Well, thank you, Razi. I think also looking at the time, we'll switch back to Johanna, who's currently in our greenhouse.
Thank you, Marnix. Now we're here in the greenhouse. The greenhouse is 1,500 square meters big and has different sections. For example, we do hydroponics and ebb and flow systems. Behind the greenhouse, there's a husk garden where we cultivate different crops. And all English to our programs also have projects here in the greenhouse. For example, over here, we have our tomatoes growing and also other vegetables like cucumbers and paprikas, which can be purchased by students in the HAS. And now we're going to meet Daniel and Kanish from the Horticulture and Business Management program, who are going to explain us a little bit about their project. Hi guys.
Hello.
You would like to tell us a little bit about your project you're working on right now?
Yeah, we are second-year students from Horticulture and Business Management. And throughout the first term, we planned a cultivation project for hibiscus. And this is the very beginning. We're going to use the whole table. We wrote a crop protection plan, irrigation and fertilization. And we start with different soil mixes, about which Kanish will tell you more now.
So we're going to do 2 researches in our project. One of it is the effect of different substrate mixes on the rooting of hibiscus, and the other is the influence of different biostimulants on the rooting and also on the influence on the finished plants. So after they have been rooted, we transplant them into bigger pots and we continue the application of biostimulants and see the effect. We also take regular measurements weekly so that we get as accurate results as possible.
Okay, thank you very much. And now I hope to see you all here at HAS and back to Marnix. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Johanna, I'll see you in class on Wednesday. Back to the table. Barbara, what are the career opportunities for our graduates?
Okay, well, if you see our graduates, they end up both at businesses and with organizations. So from the last year, a couple of them, they went working as a junior trader. So they ended up in the supply chain of organic ingredients and coffee and cacao as well. So as a trader, they will look at new opportunities for sourcing ingredients in a more sustainable way, but also the more commercial end of it. We have also students that are now working as business consultants. For instance, with non-profit organizations where one of our graduates is now advising small and medium-sized enterprises on how to improve their business. So that he's working in Africa on how to improve business and how to attach to international supply chain. So that's the business consultant end. We have students working as project officer or project manager within companies and within organizations as well, and mainly on projects that involve sustainability or so how to do it more in a more sustainable way, and that can be either people or that can be on planet related issues. yeah, or more commercial positions like in sales or business developer, where you look for new business opportunities, and that can be either with the feed companies, for instance, but also food.
So that's very broad then.
That's quite broad.
And then still we got a serious amount of studies onwards. Rosie, you're planning to go for a master's as well, is it?
Yeah, I plan to go to Wageningen for the master program Organic Agriculture, basically because, well, I'm in love with crops and the soil. So to promote sustainability and looking at the core 3 pillars of sustainability: people, planet, and profit, and improving soil biodiversity. So really focusing on what IFA taught me and moving forward with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's about 25% of our graduates that go and pursue a master.
Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that information. As you know, being online, we got our chat panel right behind us, and the questions are coming in. Maybe some questions for you as well. So if you have any questions, please send them through our YouTube channel, or indeed on WhatsApp on +31 88 890 3600. And well, we got a panel here right behind me, ready to answer your questions. Hi guys.
Hello, my name is Sharan. I'm from India and I study horticulture and business management. And my colleague.
Hi, I'm Marese Hasselman and I'm working in international student recruitment at Haas University.
So we've got a few questions coming over. One of them was, what is the split between the Dutch and foreign students?
Rosie, what's the split between Dutch and foreign students in your group at the moment?
Well,
roughly?
Right now, in 4th year, I think we're more international students than Dutch students. So I would say 30% Dutch students and 70% internationals.
But that's not the real average for the entire program, I think, Barbara?
No, the average would be about 30 to 40% international students, and the rest would be then Dutch students. We of course have some students with a double nationality, so with a double background, so to say, Dutch plus international backgrounds, yeah.
Thank you. I hope that answers your question. If not, please let the guys in the panel know, and we're happy to follow up on this one. Another one?
How many hours of personal study are you expected to do each week?
Well, you tell people how much you study, Barbara, so maybe you can answer that one.
What was the exact question? How much study?
How many study hours of personal study are you expected to do each week?
Well, it is a full-time study, so that would mean that you would spend about like 30 to 40 hours per week on studying, where contact hours would be roughly about 25%. So that means that it's actually time that you spend with teachers and in lectures or project groups. But of course you will work in project group without tutors as well. So there's where you spend the time on, and then on some private study. And you can do that either here in the Haas library. So we have study facilities to study at school. There's facilities for that, but of course you can also study at home if you prefer that.
And Rosie, you make up your own agreements with your fellow students for those hours that you need to do research and study together?
Definitely. We have a time schedule and we keep up to the time schedule. And definitely it's time well spent. So.
Thank you. Something more?
Yeah. There's one more question. How much contact is there with the lecturers?
Well, I think you already
I answered that a little bit already. You will see that in year 1 the contact hours are slightly higher, and towards the end of the studies you will work more independently and you will work more with peers, so with your fellow students in project groups. So you will see it around roughly about 25%, but that might be somewhat higher in the beginning and somewhat lower in the towards the end of the study. And of course when you're on an internship, the contact hours with school is, well, through Skype or phone, but of course your guidance will be in the company or the organization that you work with. Yeah.
And that's a company of your own choice, right?
It is, but we do assist students in finding a good place and a good position or an interesting company, but it's your own choice on what type of company or what type of organization you want to do your internship with. Yeah.
Thanks, Barbara. Anything else?
No, that's all.
No more questions for now. Well, should you have any questions, you know where to find us, so please do get in touch. For now, Barbara, Rosie, thank you very much for your time. We'll move on to the next program, which is the Business Management in Agriculture and Food. And again, we got a clip.
Hey, my name is Anna. I'm 19 years old and I'm from Germany. The study program is about business, agriculture and food. So we have a look at the whole chain from where is the food produced up until the consumer, the marketing strategies, the international trading, the agriculture in general all over the world.
My name is Jens van Bree. I'm 19 years old. First year is a combination of practice and theory. You have an internship, you also have lectures. The second year is more of a combination with practice. You do projects for companies in a business environment.
We do these excursions to get an overview of all the steps in the chain and so that we know how it really looks like. For example, to supermarkets, food stores for local food but also for international food. I think the nursery is a good example because you see the trading aspects like import, export, and they have a lot of workers, they do the real business.
During the second year we went to Poland. We visited companies and in the evening we enjoyed a beer together with other students. And I actually like this quite much because you get to know each other better. I did my internship in the first year at a dairy farm. I looked in the feed ration of the cow, so whether the needs of the cow were fulfilled with the current feed ration. For the farmer it is important because he wants to produce as efficient and effective as possible because it's about his income, so he wants to gain the most profit.
I chose for this program because it's so practical. I like that it's international. I also like the location in Venlo because it's a small city but not too small. In the last 2 years we do a lot of internships and minor and you go abroad. You can find your own way.
I chose for the international education because I wanted to broaden my employment opportunities in the future so that I can always work abroad.
I want to become a teacher for farming, which is not really the typical choice, but I think for me it's the best because it's a combination of teaching, which I really like.
When I'm finished, I want to do something in logistics. I have experience in the whole big chain, so I would like to further develop myself in this.
Don't hesitate, just come here, and I think an international study program is always more worth it than just a Dutch or a German study program, because after that you can decide and you can even change your mind and do everything else because it's just possible with this program.
I've been joined by Peter van Gastel, lecturer and program manager for the Business Management in Agriculture and Food, and Amarens van Bentem, one of the students in the program. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Maybe again to introduce yourselves, Peter, can you tell briefly about what you do in the program?
Yes, I'm a teacher. I teach management and marketing in the program and also the coordinator of business management in agriculture and food. Before the HAS I worked in business for 22 years. I'm old already, so I have plenty of time. And so that's me.
Thank you. And Amarens?
So I'm a third-year student at business management. I'm from the Netherlands in an international study, enjoying it so far.
Thank you very much. Peter, what's the program about?
The program is, as the name says, it's about business management. How you learn all the basis of how to organize a business, how to manage it, how to make money with it. I did in the domains of food and agribusiness. That is our main business. That's where we work. Yeah.
Well in line with the university then.
Yeah.
What topics does your curriculum cover?
The main topics we cover is about business administration, is how to do the administration of a company, so you know which money you're spending and where it's going. Then of course marketing, how to sell things, how to organize your sales. And then, but also the other side of the business, we're also very active in. We visit many companies, students learn how business is running in practice. Yeah.
So you see a lot of companies. Can you give an excursion example or maybe a project for a partner company that you work with?
Yeah, in first year we go out on excursions. For example, every 2 weeks we try to study a part of the business. And then we go, for example, to a cow farm to see how that looks, how it's organized with the milking robot and everything that is to do there. Yeah, and we did an interesting project for a company like that. The farmer found out that he had two kinds of cows in the stable, giving a different kind of milk, A1 and A2, and we looked at possibilities to milk the cows separately and sell the milk to different destinations. Because one of the milks is more easy to digest than the other type of milk. It's really fun.
So we're looking at different marketing of the primary product then?
Yeah, in that case, yes, we did. Yeah.
Good. And how does that, working with the partner companies, how does that function? Because that's something you do a lot more than we do.
Yeah, we have a group of partner companies. We have an arrangement with them. And so they help us in education, and we help them with projects and internships, and to find out things they want to know about how to improve their business. That's more or less what we do, and they help us any way they can, and we try to do it the other way. And if that's working successfully, that's really nice for the students and for the teachers. You can learn a lot in that way. And for the business involved, it can be a big breeding company or the cow farmer I just mentioned. It also has its advantages, of course. Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's fun too. It's not only business.
Not an important part.
Yeah.
Is fun the reason why you chose the program, Amarens?
Well, I chose it to learn something, but yeah, it should be fun as well. I chose it because it's so diverse. Of course, we have this focus on agriculture and food, but if you stay within that scope, you can do basically anything you want. You can go into food safety or animal husbandry, and because I knew that I wanted to do something with agriculture, but also with business management, I chose this study because as you go in the study, you can choose your specialization when you decide, okay, this is actually what I want to do with my life, but maybe you don't know it when you start. Maybe you will discover it in the 3rd year or the 4th.
Have you discovered it yet?
Well, yes, I have an idea, yeah.
And did your internship help you with that? What was it like?
My internship was at a goat farm in the Netherlands. It was very interesting. I'd never worked with goats before, and it was so much fun. I learned a lot. But I expect that the international internship will give me even more insight in the direction that I want to go into.
Have you got plans for that yet?
First, I'm going to go to England for an international minor for half a year. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's interesting. Is that through one of the partners that we as Haas work with?
Yeah, it's through Harper Adams University in the UK, which is really helpful. They have an agreement with Haas University as a partner university. There are many other partner universities across the whole world. So having this connection for me made it easier to approach them and makes me feel welcome.
Well, safe travels then, and enjoy that. You did an excursion abroad as well?
Yep,
Where did you go?
True. We went to Poland, and it was so much fun. We saw so many companies, met great people, and Poland is an absolutely beautiful country. I don't think I would have visited just by myself for a vacation, because it's just not the first country that would pop into my head for a vacation. And this excursion, it was really great.
Yeah, good to hear. And you said already you're not an international student, you're a Dutch student in the international class. What is it like?
Oh, it's so much fun, yeah. You meet great people, and usually you wouldn't just work with international people. And it makes you so much more, well, for me, it makes me so much more open-minded. Makes you think about Dutch culture as well, about what I consider as normal. Maybe other people don't consider that as normal. So it adds an interesting tone to the study.
And what kind of nationalities have you got in class?
Well, I'm from Friesland, so that's a little bit different. Then we have someone from France and Zimbabwe and the UK at the same time. That's a complicated story, so mixed nationality there. And an Italian, and then there's more Dutch, especially also from the province Limburg, and also from other provinces in the Netherlands.
That's a very diverse group then, that must be interesting indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Also in the other years of this study, there are people from Africa, Venezuela, there's so much diversity, yeah.
And traveling every day without bringing a passport?
Yeah, cool. That's right.
Hey, you made a vlog as well, if I'm not mistaken. That should be ready to have a look at.
Hey there, I'm Amarens and I study at the Haas University of Applied Sciences.
I'm Patrick. I'm an English-French Zimbabwean and we were wondering if you can study in shock. You?
Yeah, not today, but yesterday were 30 degrees. Doesn't make you feel like.
Hey guys, good morning.
Oh, hi,
How are you?
How are you doing?
Oh, hey.
Sorry. French kiss thing.
No, it's okay. I'm organizing a birthday party tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Do you want to come?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes, we're up to it. How old are you turning?
Hey, you can't ask a girl like how old she is in England.
What? No, it's not. Okay.
Hey, Anne-Marie, I have a question about
Hold on. First name basis to a lecturer. Really?
Yeah, why not? This is the Netherlands. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Alright guys, put that stick that you have there on the ground and yeah, good luck.
Come on, down. Down!
Alright, so the reason why it didn't went so well is because you need trust for this exercise. So we're gonna try again.
Down a bit. There we go. Down on one knee. Neo, down a
We're
bit.
not.
Almost there. Almost there. Ew.
Woo! Alright, so Patrick, tell me, can you study while in shock?
Well, I'm still here, so let's be able to. Come join us.
And make some awkward situations with us. See ya.
Bye for now.
That was a nice one indeed. Thank you for that. Maybe Peter, shortly back to you. What are the career opportunities, the perspectives for graduates?
Yeah, the career opportunities are really diverse and great. All our students have jobs on the end of their study, and yeah, they go anywhere that fits them best. It's really colorful. Some become an entrepreneur. They take over the farm at home or they start their own business. Others go to work as a manager or an assistant manager in the management of a bigger company. And but other people feel more like being an advisor and helping people, and I end up in consultancy. That are the main three places where our people.
But all in an international context, I assume.
Yeah, at least it can be that the job is in Holland, but then almost always it's in an international company or international environment they come to work. And then the skills you learn, you know, by doing the course in English and by having so much contact with your classmates really helps a lot, and the internship, of course. Yeah.
Now, obviously, before getting there, you need to get into the program. What are the admission requirements?
Well, as HAS is a university, it's a University of Applied Science, special kind of university in the Netherlands. You need more or less same requirements as you need for any university to join us, and you need the basics of to be able to do the basics in mathematics. And you can find all the information on the website for all the requirements you have to meet.
For your particular country, probably get in touch with our international office, who will be joining us later in the program.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Good to hear. I think we've got some questions for you guys as well. I just got a buzz that the questions keep popping in from all over. Students from us are joining and answering as well. I just heard that our student Duncan in New Zealand at the moment joins online to answer your questions. So feel free to keep them coming either on the YouTube or on WhatsApp. Over to the panel, guys.
So the first question is, how often do you visit a partner company?
Amarant, how often do you go to a partner company?
Well, in the first year, pretty much every week.
Every week?
Yeah, in the second year as well, the focus is a little bit more on doing projects for one company, but you still go out almost every week. It's a lot, which is fun.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Second is, what's Venlo like as a study town?
What is Venlo like as a study town? Well, I've got no clue. I work here, but...
Yeah, it's
to
great.
Live there? Yeah,
it's like, I mean, it's a city, but it feels like it's a village. I'm not from Venlo originally, and I've spent now 2.5 years living there, and it feels like I've been living there for way longer. I greet people on the streets. You get to know people so easily. And there's even a pub, there are restaurants, shops, you can find anything you need in Venlo. So yeah, I recommend it.
Cool, you should come over one day.
What does a typical week look like?
A typical week?
Yeah.
Well, you set up the weeks for the students, so maybe you give an example and Amarantz tells you whether she experiences that way.
Yeah, that's a good... in year one, we work with, for the introduction and to get to know the domains of the agriculture and food business better. We work in a 2-week schedule. First week, students have an introduction from an entrepreneur out of the business and from one of the professors. And then after that, they do a problem-based learning session to think about, what do we want to learn, what do we want to know about this part of the business. It can be about cows, or it can be about food, or any subject that comes along. And then they go out to see shops and to see how the products there are presented. And we go on an excursion, normally to 2 companies out of that specific domain. And on the end of the 2 weeks, they come together again to discuss what they have learned and seen. That's what it's a 2-week schedule actually, but yeah, that's what we do.
Is that the way you experience it as well?
Yeah, it's quite accurate. I would say that there's a lot of time for self-study. So self-discipline is important. There are many contact hours, especially in the first year. And as you go, you need to keep up with time management yourself. So there's a lot of self-study time that you'll have to fill in yourself. Yeah, and like a average week, I mean, the pub is open 7 days a week, so you can go whenever you want.
That's good to know. Something else? Those were questions for now? Okay, well, yeah, thank you very much. We're moving over to the next program, so thank you for your time. And let's see the video for horticulture and business management.
My name is Soleil Mora, and currently I'm studying horticulture and business management. I was born in Venezuela originally, but I studied high school in Costa Rica with a focus in biology.
My name is Codrin, I'm 22, I come from Romania, and my previous education was a high school in mathematics informatics profile. We have a family company back home in ornamental plants, and I want to take over the company. So I wanted something that would focus on both plants and the business side, and for me horticulture and business management was the best fit. In this study you have the possibility to choose the exact species that you're tackling, the exact kind of plants that you're dealing with. And for example, we have a cultivation project in year 2 when we really get the chance of choosing the plants that we want to grow and market a year round.
Throughout the study, we have the opportunity to go to the different facilities that involve research. For example, go to the labs, the chemistry labs, the tissue culture labs, but also the biology labs. And you can also come to the greenhouse and have the work experience, like in touch with the plants actually they're growing. So it gives you a full overview of the sector. There is a library where you can go and study after class or before class and do your homework, work in a group project, or just research in any topic. I choose the Netherlands because this is the second largest exporter in horticulture, and it also is a key in the production of developing new research inside of the horticultural sector. Den Bosch is a very, very nice city. It's not so big. It's also very fun. There's lots of activities throughout the year, and you can have a bosjebollen that's really typical Dutch. Well, the atmosphere at the Haas is very versatile, it's very fun, it's very calm. You have lots of multicultural experiences because all your classmates come from all over the world.
In my year, there were a lot of people from South America as well. We had people from Germany, we had people at the beginning from England, we had people from the USA, so basically we had people from all around the world, also Vietnam, and we had the opportunity to interact with each other and to learn something about the cultures of each other.
My third year internship, I'm planning to do one abroad in Ecuador and the second one here in the Netherlands at Wageningen University.
I did my internship here at Esveld. It's a really nice company located in Boskoop, the Netherlands. I had the chance of interacting with so many kinds of plants, and it was an interesting experience because I had the chance of interacting with Cor and spending time together with Cor and Piet, my supervisor. I think the gardening business in Romania is way less developed than here, but I see a potential in there, and I think I'm going to have a role in growing the sector.
For the future, I see myself like first graduating the HAS, having my degree, and I know this will be very helpful because I can easily, with my degree, find a new job. But I would like to continue my study further on with a master's degree, work here in the Netherlands, and then go back to Latin America and bring all this knowledge I've learned.
Interesting video. At the table now, Tamara Verhoeven and Alexander Christake to tell us more about the interesting program, Horticulture and Business Management. Maybe again a quick introduction, Tamara?
I'm Tamara. I'm also a lecturer at Horticulture and Business Management. I've worked here at the HAS for about 5 years now. I've previously worked in breeding companies like BASF and DSV, and before that I was a consultant in the UK for crop management.
Right, so you also bring your international experience to the classroom.
Yeah.
Good to hear. And Alexandra, how about yourself?
I'm Alex, I'm 20 years old, I'm from Bucharest, Romania, and I'm a first-year student, HBM.
Thank you for joining. Tamara, what's the study program about?
Well, as the title suggests, it's for horticulture and business management, so we are combining horticulture, knowledge about plants, but also on how to become an entrepreneur and how to use that in setting up your own business or consulting a business. And so it consists of plant and economic modules.
All right, if we dive into the curriculum, can you give us some highlights?
Again, it's a very practical course, so we have some theory in the first and the second year mostly, but we also start with a practical part where people can do an internship in the fourth term of the first year. There's lots of excursions to companies as well. In the second year, they can already start with their own cultivation project where they're already trying to apply their knowledge so far, which takes the whole year, and it's from start to finish, so they can in the end also sell their product if they want. Then there is an internship year, so again, international or national internship and a minor that they can do. And in the fourth year, they choose their specialization, which is either business management, cultivation and technology, or plant science, applied plant research.
Very diverse.
Yes, that's true. Before graduating on an assignment, a professional assignment for a company.
Like all our programs do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Why is horticulture and business management so important here in the Netherlands?
Well, the Netherlands is really good at horticulture. In fact, I think the Netherlands exports about 80% of all the products that it produces in the horticultural sector. Not only does it export its products, it also exports a lot of its knowledge, either through the people that graduate from the Netherlands and go all over the world, or that we actually send people out to show them how horticulture is done over here.
That sounds very relevant. Alex, was that also for you the reason to come to the Netherlands?
Because the Netherlands is very well known for his horticultural achievements, and I want to get a good education.
Good to hear. You're in your first year now?
Yep.
And does it meet up to expectations so far?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. What's been your favorite module so far, and why was that?
Well, he probably doesn't dare say anything apart from my module.
So Tamara, would you please leave the door?
Maybe plant and environment, because we had an assignment. We had to do a taxonomy project, and we had to go around the city and find plants and write about them and take pictures. So yeah, this was interesting. I didn't expect that.
Really applied, not just books, but really going out in the street and finding.
Yeah, out in the street. Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Good. That's good to know. Thank you very much. You guys do internships abroad as well. You've not been there, I guess?
No, not yet.
Tamara, do you think there's students around in the audience that can tell us something about their internships abroad?
Just looking, but I don't think we have any third-year students around, to be honest, or fourth years. No?
That's probably because they're all abroad doing their internships then, is it? Because also you send them abroad, right?
Yeah, there is a compulsory internship abroad, so you have to be at least 15 weeks abroad to do an internship, but most of our students are already from out of the Netherlands, so they probably choose an internship somewhere other than the country where they came from. And they always come back quite different from when they started. So it's always very interesting to see the experience they bring back and also the personal growth they go through.
That's indeed very interesting to see. I love that bit myself as well. You guys did a challenge as well, I think, the Salty Soil Challenge, if I'm not mistaken. We got a short video of that, so let's have a look.
Hey, I'm Kate.
And I'm Ronald. We are second-year students of Horticulture Business Management at the Haas University, and we are wondering if we can remove salts from the soil. Our challenge is to turn this into this. One problem of this is salty soils. The huge problem with conventional agriculture in dry areas is the accumulation of salts.
The pot represents degraded land. It's filled with sand, salt, and nutrients.
So these plants are able to absorb salt. How much? That is the question.
To answer that question, we are going to measure the plant's uptake of salt.
We do that by harvesting the plants and drying them in an oven of 800 degrees Celsius. That's so hot, only the salts remain.
So let's go show you our project now. Our results show the plants are taking up salt. This could be a solution for the salinization of soils.
Who knows, maybe you can continue this research. Now we know more about removing salts from the soil, although we have more questions than answers.
If this topic interests you, there would be plenty of opportunities at Haas University to develop this knowledge. Come to an open day or visit the website to explore your possibilities.
That was an interesting one. Tamara, about other interesting things, what jobs do your graduates get? What's the perspective?
It varies on the specialization that they choose in the end, of course, but it can be from setting up their own business or taking over an existing business in the sector or advising, consultancy. Can also be junior breeder, for example, in one of the international breeding companies that we have here. So it's actually quite wide.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you already got an idea what you're going to do, Alex, in 4 years from now?
I would like to get more into permaculture, but I will discover more. I'm just the first year.
You've got time for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So the career prospects are very good then for the
Yeah,
program,
I think actually about half to 60% of the students already have a job lined up before they graduate because we have such close contacts with industry.
Yeah.
They do their internships there, they also do their professional assignments there, they do projects for the companies, so the company is already picking out the students they want for future employees.
Well, that's a great compliment for you as a program, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. We're very proud of it.
That's good to hear. We got some more questions, I think, on the panel. Please keep them coming, on our WhatsApp or on the YouTube channel. Guys?
First of all was, what is the main focus in future farming for the year 1 and 2?
So what's the main focus in future farming for year 1 and 2? Well, you're not in year 2 yet, so I'm going to...
Well, actually, so what we're doing now, we're teaching students the basics on how to grow plants and the current systems that we have. But we also want students to be prepared for the new technologies that are coming. So we're looking at sustainability, but also new technologies, so completely closed environments without sunlight, for example, or growing on soils that are polluted. So a lot of these technologies are also being discussed, and also further than that, how are we going to deal with that as a country, but also as a world with an increased global population? So that's what the future food systems is about. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope that answers the question. Anything else?
The next question is about the student life. It is, how much does it cost on an average for a room in Den Bosch and Venlo?
Ah, that's a good one. Well, not for us, I guess. Alex, could you answer that?
Around 400. It depends where do you want to stay, if you want an apartment or a single room. So yeah, it depends.
And the 400, is that for a single room or for an apartment?
I'm living in an apartment and I'm paying 450 and I'm living with other 2 people.
Right, you're sharing the apartment.
Yeah.
Other students as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be fun as well.
Yeah.
To hang out with peers. Good.
The other question is, how much does it cost of living for a student in the Netherlands?
Aha, so there's other costs as well, obviously. Someone in the audience, maybe?
Yeah, so
could you stand up, please?
So the average cost until now, what I spend every month is like around 500 euros if you take food, traveling, and when you hang out with friends, you go out, you spend more money. So 500 is good for a month. Yeah.
Thanks for that. So about 500 a month plus your accommodation.
All right, the last question is, what are the Dutch like? Do they speak English? What is Dutch culture like?
Okay, so Tamara, this is the moment where we leave the table and get the others to talk. I'm sorry, but you're so well integrated into our culture. Because you're
I'm originally Belgian, but I left about 25 years ago or longer.
So what are we Dutch like? Just pretend we're not here, pretend you're talking to your friends, and what are we like?
Very nice people, and everyone is speaking English. Very good, even in the city, which is not that big. So yeah, that's impressive.
Is that the same for the guys around? Do you feel like you get along well without speaking Dutch? Yeah? You don't need it even. Thank you for that. You don't need Dutch. Okay, well.
No school hours for you.
Other questions, please? That's all the questions for now. Okay, well, thank you. That's all we had time for as well. So we're going to switch to our other student on the ground, Laura. Laura is in Venlo at the moment.
Hi Marnix, joining you here from HAS Venlo. My name is Laura and I'm an international student from Canada. I'm studying business management in agriculture and food. I found this university just through a lot of internet searching because I really wanted to do something that was different than everybody back home and have a really cool experience. So let's go see some of the university. So the first area we're going to look at is the common area. I'm meeting my classmates here before class. If we have time between classes to eat lunch, this is where we'll be. The back door actually opens up right into basically the city center of Venlo. So if you want to buy a quick snack or something to drink, you can easily do that within minutes. Let's go check out some partner companies of the HAS. So these companies are places that you're going to visit on excursions, places you could possibly do internships at. Also, people are coming from these companies to give us guest lectures. So in the first block, I went to many companies, but a few of them were Mertens and Raspberry Max. So I've been to these companies, I've talked to entrepreneurs, I got a chance to ask them questions, and it was really, really cool. Let's go look at some classrooms maybe. So throughout the HAS, you're going to see tables and chairs and places where students are just able to meet for their group projects, because we do a lot of group projects, so like an area like this one. A lot of classrooms in the HAS are pretty small. They do have a curtain you can close to make them only the half classrooms. And this is really good because we do a lot of different kinds of educational things than we do in Canada. It's like things like PBL, which is problem-based learning. So you get a realistic case, and then you as a group have to decide what's important, what do you want to find out, and you all do your own research, and then you come back and you share your answers. So it's a really great way to work in small groups, and the classrooms, yeah, they really show that. We have like the tables and we put them in a U, and often like the teachers, they're just sitting right down with us. We call them by their first names. They're really, really approachable to ask questions to, and we get a lot of one-on-one time. So that's a little bit here in HAS Venlo. I hope the rest of the show goes well. See you. Hi, Mark.
Thanks, Laura. Good to hear what's happening in Venlo. Back here in Zuid-Bos, we got Mout Putters of our international office and Hardy Jackson, student studying HBM. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Mout, can you maybe introduce yourself and the branch that you work for?
Yes. Well, I'm Mout. I'm working at the international office. I've been working at HAS for 5 years now, and the last 1.5 years I have worked at the international office, and I help students with their admission, with the housing, with welcome days and everything like that.
So you basically make sure that students are welcome here.
Yeah, and that they feel at home.
That's good. And then it's up to us to teach them.
Yes.
Ah, well, good distribution. Holly, you've experienced that bit. Where are you from?
I'm from Zimbabwe. Moved over here a couple months ago to start university, obviously. And Maud helped me out with everything. Yeah.
Why did you choose to come to the Netherlands?
My mom met some Dutch people in Zimbabwe, and so they were talking about the university, and I applied, and I knew the Netherlands were good for horticulture because that's the program I'm in, and I got in, so I came.
That's good to hear. Well, thanks for joining. Maud, what kind of practical issues do you help students with?
All kind of questions they have. About accommodation, about practical matters, if when they have Dutch letters they get at home, when they want help with the application process, all kind of questions we help them with.
So we should have asked you about the accommodation costs and things like that.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Well, if you have any further questions on that, do send in on the chat and we're happy to link you to Maud for those. Can you tell us something about the registration process, what it's like?
Yes, well, it's all, you can all see it at the website, but you have to create a StudyLink account, and when you do that you get 2 emails. One email contains information about the motivation you have, what you want to study, and also an email with all kind of documents you have to provide for us to check. And that's what we need is a pass photo, a valid passport or identity card, a diploma, a transcript of records, a curriculum vitae, and a proof of English proficiency.
And you're then also the ones who can tell students or possible students more about whether the previous education they've had lines up with the program they chose,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's good to hear. What's the deadline for registering for the programs for the upcoming?
The 1st of May.
1st of May for
Yes.
starting in September.
Yes.
Good to know. And is there any more important things that we need to know about those requirements?
Yes, it's important to know that for all 3 English taught programs you need mathematics as a final subject. When you want to study horticulture and business management, you also need chemistry as a final subject.
Right.
Well, if you don't have those subjects as a final subject, you can do a deficiency course that we provide, and that's an online test we give to students.
To beef up your skills in those
Yes.
2? Yep.
Yes.
And English, obviously, because all classes are taught in English,
Yes.
right?
If the previous education was totally in English, then it's okay. But if it is not totally in English, you will have to do an IELTS, a TOEFL, a Cambridge certificate, and then you can enter the program.
To prove your level.
Yes.
No issues there for you, I guess?
No, I did a Cambridge system when I was in Zimbabwe, which was good enough to get into the university.
And was it easy to identify whether you matched the requirements?
Yeah, the information on the website was very good, so I didn't have any problems with that when I applied, and I didn't have to take any of the tests, which was quite nice.
That's good, definitely. What do you arrange for the non-EU students, like Harley, for example?
Yeah, we need the visa. We arrange everything for the visa. The student has to provide information to us, and we arrange the visa, and we inform them during the process.
Right, that's very helpful because it's going to be a lengthy thing, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you help students find accommodation either here in 's-Hertogenbosch or in Venlo?
Well, we have info sheets about how to find accommodation on our website, but here in Den Bosch we also created an accommodation portal where students can look for housing, a few rooms that we own by ourselves, but also rooms we find with landlords. And when you're in Venlo, you can go to the student advisor of Venlo of business management and agriculture and food, and she knows a few landlords where she can get you in touch with.
And obviously you're happy to get people in contact with the people in Venlo?
Yes.
Good. And then students get here, ready to study. How do you welcome those once they're admitted?
Well, when they first arrive in Den Bosch, we arrange a buddy for them to pick them up at the train station and to guide them to their new room.
Buddy being a student from who's already been in the program for a little longer.
Yes, second year or third year students. And they help them with all kinds of questions. And we also, in the week before the study starts, we organize welcome days where everybody can meet each other, where we can tell them about the practical matters about living here in the Netherlands. and also do a few informal things. We visit Den Bosch by boat and on foot, so that's nice. But also in Venlo they organize a welcome day, and students, they can meet all the Dutch students also before the study starts.
That's good to know. You experienced that, I guess, Harley?
Yeah, it was great. It was great to have a buddy, because I got into Den Bosch quite late at night, and he met me at the train station, took me to my room.
And was he in your program?
Yeah, he was horticulture and business management. He was just in his third year, and yeah, then he organized a time to show me around the city, and it was really nice, and the boat tour around the city was really cool as well. We got a bit of a history lesson about Den Bosch, which I like.
Nice, because it's a city with quite some history, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good. What did you have to do to get registered? You already said the website was very clear, but...
The website was really clear, and then we had to go to the municipality, which was really good, because on the open day, when we were walking around not the open day, the welcome day, when we were walking around the city, they showed us where the municipality was, and we did our booking, and that was it. Got an email, got a date, and went and did it. It was very easy, and the registration took 15 minutes.
Yeah. That's convenient. And for your accommodation, how did you find it?
I did it through the info sheet that the international office sent us, and yeah, I got accommodation just up the road, 3-minute walk to school, which is great. So I suggest as soon as you get in, or when you get that info sheet, just try and find accommodation as soon as possible.
Now, are you sharing?
Harley means the accommodation portal.
Yeah, the accommodation portal. Yeah. Yeah, I share with.
You share with others?
Yeah, 3 guys.
In the same program or different programs as well?
1 guy in the same program, and then 2 others in IFA, which is really cool. Yeah.
And also from other parts of the world, I guess.
Vietnam, Egypt, Zimbabwe, and India. So very diverse.
That's a very diverse.
Cool. Yeah.
That's great to hear. What were your first days like here at Haas?
Oh, they were interesting, a bit hectic, getting to know everything, new city, new country, but settled in quite well after a while, and learned the ropes, and it's going really smoothly now. Yeah.
Feel like you're at home?
Yeah, I feel like I'm at home. That's great.
That's good to hear. Let's see if we've got any more questions from the panel.
Yeah. How did the international office help in practical matters like visa accommodation? Were they efficient enough? Were they replying on time? Was it fast? Was it easy? What was your experience?
I'm actually Irish Zimbabwean, so I didn't need to get the visa, so I'm not too up to date on the whole visa issues. Yeah.
Is there someone here in the audience who is like non-EU and could tell us a bit about that? Oh, we only got
there.
Well, the international office helped me quite well. Basically, I sent my documents, such as my passport, to the international office, and all I had to do was go to the embassy in my country. So it took a month or 2, and I was pretty much done with getting a visa.
Thank you, Rosie.
Another question is, as Maud mentioned about the online test, how easy was it to take the test? And was there any information given about the test or the amount of work you had to study for a particular test?
And that's the English test you're referring to then, is it?
No, the chemistry and mathematics.
Chemistry and mathematics.
Online definition.
Did you take those 2?
No, I didn't take those.
You were already qualified previously. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to look into that, I guess, and we'll get back to you on that. We got contact details, I think, for the person asking that question. We'll research that, and we'll get back to you on that one, because I didn't do the test either. Any further questions?
No, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for hosting the panel for today. I think that's all we got time for today. Should you have any further questions, do contact us through the website. Thank you everyone for being here, Maud, Harley as well, but also the other students and colleagues that joined us today, and those who were here in the audience. Thank you for sharing your experience. Also on the ground, Laura and Johanna, thanks for being out there somewhere, and we'll see you soon. We hope this open day online has given you a good indication of what we do here and how things are organized. Should you have any further questions, do not hesitate to contact us through the website. They know where to find me, I'm sure about that. Any specific questions, please get in touch. Happy to answer you. And we hope to see you very soon here at Haas University of Applied Sciences. Thank you for watching.